Welcome back, everyone. Finally got the package I've been waiting for, and UPS brought. It's a brand new shaft. Would you look at that? Comes with that inner seal. Isn't it pretty? I believe the seal goes in here. Put that in after we press the new bearing on. I want to stick this in the clutch once and make sure it feels alright. So there's got to be something wrapped around somewhere. I'll get that cleaned off and see how it fits. I bolted up the pressure plate and the disc. This is the pressure plate and disc that I originally had in this when I did the swap before I went to the ceramic. And I actually used the broken off shaft as an alignment for the disc. So I put in a new pilot bearing along with this. Had the flywheel resurfaced. You can see it's nice and shiny there. Let's see how this thing fits. Oh yeah. That's nice. This is what they use for pilot bearing in this particular setup. It's a 6303 sealed bearing, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's a little rough. So that might have been causing some of my shifting problems. We'll have to find out. So gonna shove that on there. Put that like that, and I have just a piece of scrap steel that I'm gonna put on there so it doesn't wreck that other bearing. Race. I would say that's good. So now I can put this seal in. This one's pretty well drove in there all the way. Make sure you put this thing in the right way. It's this lip faces out just like this. And I'm just going to use this old bearing as a driver. Went in there pretty easy. So now I can put this on the transmission, and I'm going to put a new input seal on the transmission. And here the seal I have is a 713771 Timken seal. We're gonna be putting it down in that hole down there. It's not a very good way to install this. I don't know how else to do it here, because you're kind of installing this backwards compared to what I, normally install seals. It's got to be pretty close. Flip this thing over and check it out. I'd say it looks good. I'm just going to put a little bit of ATF on some of this stuff before I put the shaft together. There we go. Well, slip a little bit of oil on this shaft and get some in that bearing. Wipe down all this gasket area. I'm going to be using anaerobic gasket maker. It's made for really precise sealing surfaces, and of course my brand new tube didn't have a proper crimp on that, and I want it to come out this end, not that end. So we'll see what happens here. Just want a thin layer of this. This stuff isn't the same as RTV. I would say it's almost closer to like a gel Loctite. I've used this stuff in the past. First found out about it when I had a 92, I believe it was, Ford Thunderbird Super Coupe. If I remember right, they said you were supposed to use this stuff to seal the air-to-air pipes, because they were like a machined aluminum surface, kind of similar to this stuff. Well, put that on there. Sure could be the detent's giving me trouble.
They seem like they're fairly stiff. I was just about ready to give up on these detents and drill the little plugs out. Then I went one last time and I wiggled around in there with the screwdriver. I got them to stay up. So I'm going to try to pop that thing on there again, gently, and see if it'll go. And then hopefully the springs will pop out. See, they ride in these grooves here. And make sure it stays in gear. Gently. There, went right together. And I'm hoping if I give a couple rap-a-tap taps, that they popped back into place. Get a few bolts going here. I'm just going to go around this in a crisscross pattern, snug it up real good with my impact. This thing gets about as tight as you can go by hand with a 3/8 drive wrench. I'm sure there is a torque spec to this. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I'm not a professional. Seek the manual. And I got my new bolts here. I'm going to put a little blue Loctite on these, just so they don't go anywhere. That holds in your reverse idler gear, or idler shaft, whatever. Makes it go backwards. Remember, torque these to the proper specs too. That looks pretty good. I assume is what this thing is your fifth to reverse lockout. Well, all this thing's ready to go back in the vehicle besides putting the slave cylinder on. Can get it up on the transmission jack and get it ready to go. Time for the throw-out bearing. Here we got a part number 360016. So I just want to show you guys something here. This one came from Rock Auto, not sponsored. I don't remember what it was, 35 bucks. this one, which claims to be a different brand. Notice how it looks identical, including the marks on the back. They're both 3136s, but then they got a different other number. I assume that's a date code. But this one's like 70 bucks at O'Reilly's. Supposedly different brand. They're identical. The only thing is you gotta watch your shipping on Rock Auto. They like to ship stuff from different warehouses on you, so. But I've had pretty decent luck with the O'Reilly's one, so I'm guessing I will with this one too. I have had some bad luck with some other brands in the past. Just brand new, put them in and they're leaking like a sieve. If I remember right, I had to grind a little bit on here. Doesn't feel like it though, so maybe I'm remembering a different vehicle. But you have to get the right throw out for the year of the line you are using. So this transmission is like out of an 89, and I would have had a different size line than what I'm using. I'm using like a, I can't remember for sure. I think it's from the 2000s F-150 hydraulic throw-out line. So this had to be from that age, so it would get the right coupler. Otherwise, you can go to someplace like Summit Racing and you knock out that roll pin, and then you just like put a AN fitting in there, and you make your own lines. But these are supposed to be like quick disconnect style, so I don't know, this, when they went to this new design, it works pretty good. The old design used to have these like little shark bite things in there, and they'd pop out sometimes on you if you had a stiffer pedal feel clutch. They could pop apart. I had a Ford Ranger that did that a few times. You don't want to give the, just snug these up. You don't want to go overkill with these, because it's pretty easy to strip out the aluminum, the transmission here, and then you'll be doing like a helicoil or something. Well, that's all ready to go back up in the truck now. So let's spin this thing around and see if it'll go in its hole. Get my leg work out, pumping this thing up.